Good day, everyone. We are the Group 1, and our assigned topic is all about forecasting. I am the first presenter, Joanna Marie Emacido. And the forecasting outline first is forecasting on operations management, science and art of forecasting, 7 steps in the forecasting, categories and models of forecasting, focus on time series forecasting, measure the forecast accuracy, selecting the best forecasting techniques, and forecasting in several sectors, forecasting and IT. So learning objectives. So when you complete this chapter, you should be able to first identify of define. First is forecasting, categories of forecast, time horizon, approaches to measure forecast, and explain and apply moving average, exponential smoothing, trend and seasonal projections, measures of forecast accuracy. And now let us know what is forecasting. So why forecasting? So forecasting lays the ground for reducing the risk in all decision making because many of the decision needs to be made under uncertainty. In business application, forecasting serves as a starting point of major decision in finance, marketing, productions, and purchasing. So, ang ibig sabihin daw ay forecasting help businesses make less risky decisions by guessing future demand or trends so they can plan budgets, marketing, productions, and purchases smarter instead of guessing blindly. So, for example, it's like checking the weather before a picnic. If you predict rain, so you bring an umbrella, diba? And if it's sunny, you pack sunscreen. Similarly, businesses use forecasts to avoid overspending, running of stock, or missing sales. So making decisions that keep them stable even when the future is uncertain. Forecasting and operations management. So the topic of forecasting is critical to operations management since forecasting allows managers to plan future budgets and operations. This discussion is primarily focused on qualitative forecasting methods. However, it is also essential to define and explain quantitative forecasting. According to Sharma 2015, quantitative forecasting is using historical data to project future demand, sales, and revenues. This method involves intrinsic and extrinsic code techniques, so the choice of forecasting method depends on a company's goals and objectives. So, meaning, forecasting helps managers plan budgets and work. And while we're focusing on qualitative methods like asking experts for opinions, quantitative forecasting uses past data to guess future sales or demand. So, it has two types, the intrinsic and the extrinsic. And now let's proceed to decisions requiring forecasting and operations management. So first is predicting demands of new and existing products. So this is predicting how much customers will buy, whether for old products or a new ones. So it's super important for running a business well. So for example, for all products, you look at a past sales data. So for example, if Asuda usually sells 1,000 cans a month, you can guess it sells about the same next month or more in summer. So this helps you stack the right amount, make enough, and hire the right number of workers. So for new products, you don't have past data. So you ask people, like customer in surveys, or use experts' opinions. So if a new toy is similar to one that sold well before, you might guess it sells a similar amount. So this helps you decide how many to make, how much to charge, and how to market it. So that is the predicting demands of new and existing products. The second one is predicting results of new product research and development. So, ang ibig sabihin nito ay predicting new product research and development results in operations management means guessing if the product will succeed. So business can decide how much to invest, make, and prepare. So for example, like checking if a new app will be popular before spending big on launch. The third one is projecting quality improvement. So this one is means guessing how making products or processes better will help business. So for example, like planning to fix a bike's brake problem to see if it will lead to fewer returns and more sales. The fourth one is anticipating customers' need. Anticipating customer needs in operations management, meaning guessing what customers will want next, like more eco-friendly packaging. So business can plan production, stock, and services to keep them happy. So for example, like a cafe adding vegan options because they think more customers will ask for them. So that's the anticipating customers need. And in the fifth one is predicting cost of materials. So predicting material cost in operations management means guessing how much raw materials, or like wood for furniture or plastic for toys, will cost in the future. So business can budget, set prices, and avoid overspending. So for example, like a bakery estimating flour prices will rise next month and buying extra now to save money. So that's the predicting cost of materials. And now let's proceed to decisions relevant to demand forecast. So this one, decisions tied to demand forecasting and operations management are choices that use predict customers' demand to optimize how a business runs. So, for example, a cafe might forecast higher coffee sales on weekends and schedule more staff to handle the rush. So another example, a toy factory could use the holiday demand forecast to decide how many teddy bears to produce, avoiding stockouts or excess inventory. So these decisions help businesses save money, keep customers happy, and use resources like time, materials, and workers efficiently. So the first decisions relevant to demand forecast is select product portfolio. So select product portfolio. Selecting a product portfolio using demand forecasting means choosing which products to sell or how or and how many. So based on guesses about what customers will buy. For example, like a clothing store stocking more winter coats and fewer shirts because forecasts show cold weather is coming. So that's the select product portfolio. The second one is predicting new facility location. So predicting a new facility location using demand forecasting means choosing where to build a new store, factory, or warehouse based on guesses about where customers will need products most. So, for example, like a fast food chain opening a new restaurant near growing neighborhood because forecasts show more people will live there and buy their food. The next one is anticipating capacity needs. So anticipating capacity needs using demand forecasting means figuring out how much a business can make or handle to meet future customer demand. So for example, like a gym adding more equipment because they expect more people to join next year. And the fourth one is identifying labor requirements. So, ang ibig sabihin nito ay identifying labor requirements using demand forecasting means figuring out how many workers or and what skills they need. A business will need to meet future customer. So, for example, is a retail. The fifth one is projecting material requirements. So, projecting material requirements using demand forecasting means figuring out how much raw materials like flour for bread or steel for cars. So a business needs to make products customers will buy. So for example, like a construction company ordering extra cement because forecasts show more building project next month. This and the next one is developing production schedules. So developing production schedule using demand forecasting means planning and how much to make of a product so it's ready when customers want it. So for example, like a candle factory scheduling more productions of scented candles in October because forecasts say they'll sell out for Halloween. And the last one is creating maintenance schedules. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, creating maintenance schedules using demand forecasting means planning when to fix or check equipment so it doesn't break during busy times. So, for example, like a factory servicing its machine in slow months to avoid downtime which when demand for products is high. So, that's all the decisions relevant to demand forecast. And now let's proceed to the next one is each of 50 profit centers around the world is responsible for computerized monthly, quarterly, and month sales projections. So, meaning Tupperware has 50 local teams or profit centers worldwide. So each using computers to predict how much they sell in the next month, 3 months, and a year, helping the company plan production, stock, and sales globally. So, for example, think of it like 50 neighborhood managers checking local traffic, weather, and events to guess how many people will visit their store each week, so month and year. This helps them order the right amount of stock, schedule staff, and run promotions so they don't waste money or miss out on sales. So the third one is these projections are aggregated by product, family, and region. Then globally, at Tupperware World Headquarters. So um, each of Tupperware's 50 local teams sends their sales projections for specific products group of similar products and the region to the main office. So the headquarters then combines all these numbers to get a global pictures of expected sales. So, for example, like putting together a puzzle where each piece is a local forecast and the whole puzzle shows how much Tupperware will sell worldwide. And the last one is Tupperware uses all techniques discussed in the test. So, this one Tupperware uses all forecasting methods like analyzing past sales, tracking trends, and local team insights. So to predict demand, then combines local predictions into a global plan to make smart decisions about productions, stock, and sales. So, for example, think of it as baking a cake. You use multiple tools like mixers, measuring cups, and ovens, and local ingredients like mangoes in the Philippines or chocolate in the Belgium. So to make regional cakes, then the head baker checks all the recipes to ensure the whole bakery has enough supplies and knows which cakes to promote worldwide. So that's the Tupperware uses all the techniques discussed in test. That's all.
So good day ma'am, I'm Kenneth Rogel Rosal Sialicaya and I'm going to discuss the science and arts of forecasting. Science plus arts equals for successful forecasting. So science implies that body of the forecasting knowledge lies on the solid ground of quantitative forecasting methods and their correct utilization for various business situations. And art represent the combination of the decision makers' experience, logic, and institution to supplement the forecasting qualitative analysis. So both of the science and arts of forecasting are essential in developing accurate forecasts. All managers are forecasters. So forecast categories. So there's a types of forecast categories. We have qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative executive opinions, sales force surveys, Delphi methods, consumer surveys. And quantitative time series methods, associative or casual methods. So quantitative are based on opinions and experience like surveys or expert advice. Then while the quantitative based on data and numbers like the series of regression. For Tupperware, strategic decisions forecast by consensus. Although inputs come from sales, marketing, finance and production, final forecasts are the consensus of all participating managers. The second is the final step of Tupperware's version of the jury of executive opinion forecast. Use quantitative models to examine data and use qualitative methods to coverage result. So forecast categories, we have the time horizon. So time horizon, we have long term, uh, medium term, and short term. Long term is for duration of 3 to 5 years or more on annual basis. While the medium term for duration of up to 3 years or usually on quarterly or monthly basis. Short term up to 1 year, usually less than 3 months on daily weekly. So forecast can be short term, medium term, or long term predict depending on how far into future your prediction. Facts on forecasting. Main assumption, past pattern repeat itself into the future. Forecasts are rarely perfect. Don't expect forecasts to be exact equal to the actual data. The third one is the science and arts of forecasting try to minimize but not to eliminate forecast errors. Forecast errors means the difference between actual and forecasted values. Fourth is a forecast of for the group of products or usually more accurate than this for individuals products. A shorter period tend to be more accurate, and computer and IT are a critical part of modern forecasting in large corporation. So time series data, we have a 5 time series data, time series decomposition. Second is exponential smoothing. Third one is ARIMA models. Fourth one is Bayesian models. Five is evaluation. The time series data. Time series is defined as an ordered sequence of values of the variable at the equal space time intervals. So as you can see, there ang time niya kanang nasa baba is pataas siya pataas. Muna siya ang ang sa left side niya is muna siya ang airline passengers. Time series data means a sequence of data collected over time, monthly sales, and yearly population. So most often the time series observation YT consists of 3 components, which have the seasonal components, trend or cycle components, error components. By modeling all the three, can we arrive at all possible forecasts for our data. So seasonal components, regular patterns like increase sales during holidays. The trend component, long-term direction, upward or downward trend. And lastly, error component, random variation or unexpected changes. So by studying this, we can predict future values. So time series decomposition. Time series decomposition. There's a two types of decomposition. We have the additive and multiplicative. So as you can see, the addictive models when changes are constant over time. So as you can see there, di ba plus iyahang formula. While the multiplicative is model when changes grow over time. So nagkuan sila di ba? Times. So YT or data at time equals seasonal components time times trend components time times error at time. So to make prediction, you can model using linear regression YT, where T is the month of the start of observation. So this is the formula, and you can estimate error using bootstrap methods, resampling methods, use multiplication formula to combine all the three together. So exponential smoothing. Applying weight to the data point can be applied several times based on the condition. Is trend seasonal there? The most simple case is a single exponential smoothing, no trend and no seasonality. Hyperparameters could be calculated based on the green search methods. So a simple forecast method lines more weight to present the data but still considered older data. Mas gamit siya kung walay strong trend or seasonal. ARIMA models. ARIMA models are auto collective function that can help to diagnose if time series are stationary. Methods to transform time series to stationary: logarithmic transformation, stabilize variance, differencing yt plus 1 minus yt times. Unit root test, seasonal and trend decomposition using Lewis. So that's the formula. And ARIMA models means autoregressive integrated moving average, which help forecast stationary data. Bayesian time series, good at measuring uncertainty. Compute posters credible intervals from MCMC. Can we use additional variables to help the quantitative of interest? Benefits of Bayesian regression, putting prior of the confession a sufficient result in better posterior intervals. Spikes and slag priors are often used to variable selection, can include priors directly into model split STS. So Bayesian models which add uncertainty and use prior knowledge. The art of forecast. The art of forecasting in is um, fortune telling. Humans institution often in a good as a random guess at the future, often based to local knowledge. So second is based on forecast alone. AI could be based to non-exposure and textual data, not often quantifiable. Fiable. So, ang forecasting mo na siya tanda-tanda lang. Pero dili tanan perfect. Usahay masaligan lang aton sarili. Pero usahay sayop sad. Kung ang AI sad, naagi hapoy siya limitado. So, both human and data models have weaknesses when used alone. So, combine two for best result are judgment algorithms with humans judgment. So, human and AI. Kung i-combine ang tao ug AI, ang tao nagahatag og kana ang logic o kasinat kasinatian. Samtang ang AI magamit og data ay magbuhat og data analysis. Kung magtinabangay sila, then produce more accurate and realistic prediction. 4K predictability factor that problem must satisfy to build the successful forecasting models. So first is we understand and can measure the causal factors. So like what factors affect sales or demand. Second is there is a lot of historical data evaluation ay, available rather. The third one is the forecast do not affect the thing we can trying to forecast. So for example, predicting prices should change the actual price. So last is the future will somewhat resemble the past in the relevant way. So we can use patterns to predict it. It's about combining human intelligence and data modeling to make smart prediction. Great journey about combining human intelligence and modeling while completing forecasting tasks. Thank you.
7 step in forecasting. So first is determine the use of the forecast or decide why you need the prediction. So for example, Do you need to know how many products to produce next month, or the short term, or how large your new factory should be, or the long term? So this cost controls everything else. So the second one is select the items to be forecast or specify exactly what you are predicting. So for example, don't just say sales. Are you predicting sales for all products combined or only the sales of red t-shirts? So the more specific you are, the better the data collection and model choice will be. So the third one is determine the time horizon of the forecast or decide how far out your prediction goes. So for example, a short-term forecast or next week is very different from a long-term forecast or next 5 years. So the longer the time horizon, the less accurate the forecast usually is. So the fourth is select the forecasting models or choose the prediction tool you will use. So for example, if you have a lot of historical data with clear patterns, you might pick a math-based model or like a moving average. So if it is a new product with no history, you might use expert opinions or a qualitative model. So the fifth one is gather the data or collect the historical numbers you need. So for example, get all the records of past sales, market prices, competitor activities, or any other numbers that influence the demand for your item. And make sure this data is clean and reliable. So the sixth one is to make the forecast or run the numbers through the chosen model to get the final prediction. So for example, this is the step where you calculate. So based on the data and method we predict, we will sell 10,000 units we will sell 10,000 units next quarter. So this last one is validate and implement results or check if the production is good and then put it to work. So for example, see how accurate your forecast was by comparing it to what actually happened or test a sample of history. And once you trust the forecast, use the number to make real business decisions like placing a materials order or hiring temporary staff. So next is quantitative methods. So next is quantitative forecasting model. So it has two types of model, which are the time series model and associative or the casual models. So ang time series model is mauna siya ang nagapredict sa future based on past data patterns. So mauna ang iyang mga example. First is naive forecast, simple moving average, weighted moving average, simple exponential smoothing, and exponential smoothing with trend, linear trend projection, and time series decomposition. So, when we say associative or the causal models, is mo na siya ang nag-predict sa future based on factors that cause change. So, mo na yung example. First is simple linear regression, multiple linear regression, and non-linear regression. So, kanina mga models is nagamit sa different approaches to forecast the future outcomes, either by looking at past trends or by considering related factors.
So the next topic is all about the categories and models of forecasting. So first we have judgmental forecasting. So judgmental forecasting rely on subjective and intuitive information to make predictions. These methods are particularly useful in situations where there's a lack of historical data available to reference or in times of market uncertainty where previous trends. So for example, ang example sa judgmental forecasting is, for example, sa isa ka subdivision, so ikaw nga naa kay plano nga magbaligya og balay. So, dili ka pwede magbaligya og balay kung wala kay kanang basis kung pila ang imong for example, pila ang imong price ana na balay. So, mag-gather ka og data kung pila pud ang price nga gisold sa pikas na balay. Para naapod ka idea kung pila pud ang imong i-price sa imong i-planning na ibaligya na balay. So other example is if a researcher wants to study the buying patterns of high luxury cars owners. So, ang nahimo is the researcher may use a judgmental sampling to select a sample individuals who they believe are most likely to purchase a luxury cars. So this may include a subjective, opinionated approach, so meaning dapat personal, as well as dapat is kanang opinionated pod, dapat na ay basis ang imuhang kuhaan na data. So next is reliant on human experience and expertise. So dapat relevant siya, as well as dapat is naa siya enough na experience. So like for example, ganin sa akong giingon, if mag-solve yung car, so dapat na ka enough example ana kung unsaon nimo ang unsay way or unsay mga steps dapat na maka-purchase kag car. Assume specific variables, accuracy improves with additional information, and comes with limitation. Of course, dapat limitation na. So next is the Delphi method. So the Delphi method is a technique used to obtain an explicit judgmental forecast. This method is commonly used to identify trends based on the information given by a panel or experts. The number of rounds may differ depending on the goal of the group, but the method ends upon completion of predetermined metric. Meaning, so Delphi method is dili na nabelo ang kanang dapat is need na jud ka mo kuha og kanang information through the panel or expert para pod na kay idea kung unsay buhaton. So Delphi method is technique na siya para mas ma-obtain or let's say isa na siya ka support sa judgmental forecast. The steps include the first is choose a panel of experts. So this can be anyone, so dapat naa pod jud experience ana na field. So this also include dapat na isa siya ka loyal na customer na naga-purchase og similar items nga imuhang gi-develop or imuhang gi-plan. So next is define the problem. So of course define the problem kay para makabalo ang kanang panel kung asa jud ka naglisod, kung usa jud problema nga imuhang need nga masolusyonan. Next is round 1 questions. So use the first round of questions to introduce the topic and open up the conversation. So you have to ask the first or the main question kung unsa jud ang naagid ana nga kung unsa gyud problem. So this is also to open up the conversation. So round 2 questions. After the facilitator has reviewed the first round answer, so tanggalon tong mga i-filter tong mga irrelevant data, and then submit new information to the panel for them to again submit their question. So dira na mosulod ang round 2 questions, so mag-add na pud kag other question para mas ma-assess pa sa panel. Next is future question rounds. So the facilitator repeats the process itself. So same lang siya nga process, naga-provide siya og kanang new na information sa panel para mas maalaw pa nga makasubmit sila og answer and until nga ma-reach nila ang general consensus. And the last one, take the action. So once the panel reaches the consensus, they can move forward with their findings and the company can implement any plans developed from the findings. So meaning, so pag ma-reach nila ang kanang overall na information sa panel or answer sa panel, so then dira na dayon mag-take og action. So kung sa tong findings sa panel, so i-adapt to sa company para mas mag-implement na sila og any plans na nga suro na develop sa findings.
Good day everyone. Today I will be discussing the econometric model. An econometric model is a tool used by economists to understand and predict economic behavior. It combines three things: economic theory, mathematics, and statistics. This model helps us to analyze the relationship between the different economic variables, such as supply, demand, and income and prices. For example, we can use an econometric model to understand the questions like, does income affect consumer spending? Or how does price change affect demand? And Let me explain the steps in building an economic model. Step 1. Choose variables. The first step is to decide the variables. We select the independent variable which we call an x, and the dependent variable is we call y. For example, we want to study how income affects spending. Income will be x and the spending will be y. We maybe also include the other variables called variables represented as z, that is the control variable, and to make the models more accurate. For the step 2, select the hypothesis. Next, we form a hypothesis or a statement that we want to test. For example, we might say, higher income leads to higher consumer spending. This statement will be tested later using real data. For the step 3, gathering the data, of course. We select a data for X, Y, and Z. The data can come from surveys, records, research studies, government reports, or economic databases. Accurate data is very important for a reliable model. For the step 2, plot the data. After collecting data, we organize it and plot it on a graph. By doing this, we can see the relationship between the variables. It also helps us identify unusual data or outliers that do not follow the general pattern. And of course, step 5, determine trends. Lastly, we analyze the data to determine the trends. Is the relationship between X and Y linear? Meaning it is a straight line. Or is it non-linear, forming a curve or another pattern? These steps helps us understand how variables affect each other. So an econometric model is a very useful in economics because it helps us test theories and make predictions based on a real-world data. It is commonly used by businesses, researchers, and government to make a better decision about the economy. What is the time series data? Time series data is a set of observations recorded over time, usually at regular intervals like daily, monthly, weekly, or quarterly. It is used to analyze patterns, trends, and changes over time.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Vincent Timothy G. Badles, and my topic is I from Group 1. My topic is measure the forecast accuracy. So measure the forecast accuracy, ma'am. There are two formula. So this formula is called MAD, which is mean absolute deviation. So means absolute deviation measure the average absolute error of a forecast, a sign of an error which represent over or underestimation is really not important in most cases. We are rather concerned with the value of deviation. So pasabot po ana ma'am, sa mean absolute deviation kaning naga measure siya og mga absolute error sa ato ang pag-forecast, which is ma'am siya ang pinaka nindot na solusyon sa mga dinagko na mga error sa ato ang negosyo. Kay pag once magnegosyo ta ma'am, namang gid ang pag-forecast. So pag while nag-forecast ta ma'am, na may mga error na mga dinagko, so anytime ma-apply nato ning MAD para masolusyonan ang katong mga big error, para dili siya para masolusyonan tong mga big error ma'am. Kay naga-measure man sa average sa atuang pag-forecast, so para mas mapanindot pang atuang negosyo or mapalagaw kay, pero dili ni siya ay nagarepresent po din siya og underestimation ma'am. So nakabutang dira og ang concern lang pud ani manggod na solution ma'am sa atuang value of deviation. Ang atong value of deviation manggod ma'am kaning need manggod pud na siya ang value sa atuang deviation kay ginapahalagahan manggod po na ma'am kay isa mo na siya ka-establish pod na ma-apply nato ato ang forecast. And kung naglibog mo nang ug mangunta na kung say pasabot ng ang kalin solusyon, pasabton ta mo ang pasabutan ng A mo na siyang actual value in period, and if naman is forecasted value in period, and E forecast error in period and in number of periods. Mo na siya ang pasabot sa mga formula sa ato ang mean absolute deviation or MAD. And then diri na punta sa measuring forecast accuracy, mean squared error or MSA. So kani naman pinaka the best pud ni siya na solusyon kay represent the variance of errors in a forecast. This criterion is most useful if you want to minimize the occurrence of a major. So nindot kay ni siya na solusyon Japon kay ngano sa ato manggong negosyo, example sa ato manggong negosyo, di ba, lahi-lahi siya og mga error, lahi-lahi mga error basta matag isa na negosyo or sa ato ang pag-forecast. So pag ma-apply nato ni siyang mean squared error, so may balaan ay dira nato masolusyonan ug unsaon pagbalance anang mga lahi-lahi na mga error, or masolusyonan na nato na ma-minimize nato atong error sa ato ang negosyo or sa atong pag-forecast, para ang daend ana is mas nindot ang flow sa ato ang negosyo o ma-aware ta sa tanan bagay sa negosyo sa pag ma-apply nato ni siyang MSC. And thank you katura po ma'am.
So why is measuring forecast accuracy important? So first of all, it improves decision making. For a better forecast, it can lead to a smarter planning para sa production, staffing, and budgeting. The second one is to identify errors, like it detects biases or kanang mga patterns of underestimation. The third one is it enhances forecast models. It guides managers para sa pag-refine or pag-change sa models para sa better performances. The fourth one is it reduces cost. Kay accurate forecast can minimize waste, stockouts, and overproduction. And the last one is to increase customer satisfaction. Ang reliable demand and prediction can help ensure timely delivery og ang product availability. On the other hand, it can have disadvantages. Isa ani is ang time consuming and data dependent, kay ang kanimang good is naga-require siya og historical and accurate data. The second one is naay possibilities nga dili niya ma-capture ang external factors like ang sudden market changes, natural disasters, or kanang trends. Another is ang complex calculations. Naay mga metrics na like kanang MAPE or kanang other formulas na tricky sometimes sa pag-interpret. And the last one is kanang naga-focus lang siya sa past performances, kay which ang kanang model nga accurate before is na possibilities nga dili siya mag-accurate gihapon tungod sa changing conditions. So in summary, measuring forecast accuracy is essential for assessing kung unsa ka reliable and effective ang forecast model. It also ensures that managerial decisions are based on dependable data, improving efficiency, reducing risk, and also enhance organizational performance.
Good day everyone, I'm Karen Jean Bangkayaon. So now I will discuss to you the selecting the best forecast techniques. So we're here forecasting introduction. So is an essential aspect of managing any organization is planning for the future. Organizations employ forecasting techniques to determine future inventory, costs, capacities, and interest rates changes. there are two basic approaches for forecasting. First, we have qualitative and the second one is quantitative approach. When we speak forecasting in a business context, we are really focused on forecasting future and customer demand. So, forecasting is an essential business process for virtually any firm. The qualitative approach, it focuses on the understanding of the human experience through non-numerical data using methods like interviews and observation to gain in-depth insights into why and how. We have here the scenario of qualitative. Scenario writing consists of developing a conceptual scenario of the future based on well-defined set of assumptions. After several different scenarios have been developed, the decision maker determines which is most likely to occur in the future and makes decision accordingly. Qualitative also interaction. These techniques are often used by committees or panels seeking to develop sa ilang mga new ideas or to solve their complex problems. And they often involve brainstorming sessions, and it is important in such sessions that any idea or opinions be permitted to be presented without regarding relevancy and without fear of criticism. And the quantitative is, it involves collecting and analyzing numerical data to find patterns, test hypotheses, and make predictions. Sa time series data, it's usually plotted on a graph to determine the various characteristics or components of the time series data. There are four major components: trend, cyclical, seasonal, and regular components. So the trend refers to the long-term underlying directions or general tendency of the data. And the seasonal naman is of the series accounts for regular patterns of variability within certain time periods such as over a year. So, mao ni siya ang permi nagataas ang ilang halin every December. Regular, mao ni siya ang caused by short-term, unanticipated, and non-recurring factors that affect the values of the time series. One cannot attempt to predict its impact on the time series in advance. Example ani kay if sarado imong tindahan tungod sa renovation.
Good day everyone, my name is Renalo T. Barde from BSAM 4A. So my topic for today is forecasting and service sector. So, in this competitive business environment, providing excellent customer service is a crucial for success because one of the biggest challenges companies faces today on managing their customer support, especially during periods of fluctuating demand. To address these challenges, many organizations use service forecasting, a method that helps predict customer service workload and optimize team structures accordingly. So what is service forecasting? So, service forecasting is a way to predict how busy customer support will be in the future. So, to predict workload in customer support using historical data. It uses past data to guess how many people were contact supports and estimate contact volume by channel and peak period. So, it tells when and through which channels like phone calls, chat, or email most people will reach out sa ilahang company. Then, help plan staffing and work schedules efficiently. So, this help teams plan how many staff they need and when nila gamiton so that they can handle the request of the customers without delays. Why service forecasting matters in managing fluctuating demand? improve team structure, support business growth, and customer satisfaction. It because in managing fluctuating demand, it helps prepare for busy and quiet times so the team isn't overwhelmed or maglingkod lang sila nga wala sila buhaton nga dili sila kabalo unsa man nilang angay buhaton. Og improve team structures, it helps organize the team easier, putting the right number of people in the right time in the right place. And in the support business growth and customer satisfaction, it support business growth by keeping customers happy with fast service and a better service. How to make a service forecast in 5 easy steps. So first is gathering service data with volume, wait times, ticket duration, and demand pattern. So imong i-review at the past number how many people conducted support, how long they waited, and when things got busy. Kung sila mabusy sa ilahang trabaho. Tapos, identify external influence, look at outside factors, things about things that affect support needs like holidays, sales, or new product launches. Third, pick the right tools or use software like customer service management system or help desk tools to help understand and predict future demand. Fourth, make the forecast. So, create the forecast, predict how many people will need help at different times and plan for the busy period of time. So, 5, evaluate and adjust. So, compare forecast with actual data, refine continuously. So, compare your forecast with what actually happened and adjust it to get better over time. Make the forecast. So, define demand by time, day, separate plans for peak period, evaluate and adjust, compare forecast with actual data, refine continuously. So, in a simple word, guess when people would need help each day and at what times, and plan ahead for busy times like during sales or holiday. Reevaluate and adjust. Check your guess what was right by comparing it to what really happened and fix it and improve your forecast so it gets better over time. Benefits and next steps. So benefits, why it is good? So optimize staffing and resource use. So you use your team and tools better without wasting time or any money. And improve customer experience. Customers are happier because they get faster help. Data-driven, agile decision making. You can make smart choice using real data. Scrambled support for growth. Your support team can grow easily as your business grow. Next steps, adapt advanced analytic tools, CRM help desk software, and partner with expert to optimize forecasting, enhance customer service with humanized efficient support. So start using smart tools like customer relationship management and help desk software and work with experts who can help improve your forecasting and focus on giving support that both fast and personal. Thank you.
A blessed day to everyone. Hi, I am Charilyn Baron, the reporter of Forecasting and IT. Forecasting involves predicting future event or trend based on historical data and current insight. Accurate forecasts enable organization to optimize resource allocation, manage risk, and improve overall performance. The advent of IT has transformed forecasting by providing powerful tools and techniques for data collection, analysis, and modeling. The role of IT and forecasting. So we have here data collection and management. So IT systems are like digital organizers. They automatically gather data from different places like sale record, market trend, and economic indicator and store it neatly in databases. This make the data easy to find and use for analysis. So example, think of a supermarket using barcode scanner at the checkout. So every item scanned create data that's stored in a databases. This data help the supermarket understand what product are selling well and when. So next one, Modeling and simulation. IT help create complex forecasting model using techniques like time series analysis and neural networks. This model predict what might happen in the future based on the past data. So example, an airline uses forecasting model to predict how many passenger will fly on the particular route during different time of the year. So this helps them adjust ticket prices and schedule flights efficiently. So last one, communication and collaboration. So IT make it easier for them to communicate and share information. Everyone involved can access the latest forecast and data, which led to better coordination and decision making. So example, a marketing team uses project management software to share campaign plan, track progress, and discuss results. This ensures everyone is aware of the campaign status and can contribute effectively. Applications of forecasting and IT. So first, we have supply chain management. Forecasting helps optimize inventory level and improve customer satisfaction by predicting demand. IT system track inventory, sale, and other relevant data to make accurate forecast. So example, a large retailer like Walmart uses forecasting to predict how much of each product they need in their store. So this helps them avoid stock out and reduce excess inventory, ensuring customers can find what they need while minimizing storage costs. So second, financial planning. Forecasting aid in making informed investment decision and managing financial risk by predicting market trend and economic condition. IT tools analyze financial data and create model of forecast future performance. So example, an investment firm uses forecasting model to predict the performance of different stocks. This helps them decide which stock to buy or sell, minimizing return while minimizing risk. So third, marketing and sales. Forecasting help target marketing effort and increase sale by predicting customer behavior and market trend. So IT system track customer data and analyze marketing campaign performance. So example, a clothing company uses forecasting to predict which styles will be popular in the next season. So this help them design and market the right product, increasing sale and reducing the risk of unsold inventory. So next, we have healthcare. Healthcare forecasting help allocate resources for disease outbreak and patient demand by predicting the spread of diseases, the number of patients needing care. So IT system track health data and create model to forecast healthcare needs. So example, a hospital uses forecasting to predict how many patients they will have during flu season. This help them allocate enough staff and resources to handle and increase demand, ensuring patients receive timely care. So last, we have energy. Forecasting help manage energy resources and ensure grid stability by predicting energy demand and supply. So IT system track energy consumption and production data to make accurate forecast. So example, an energy company uses forecasting to predict how much electricity will be needed on a hot summer day. So this helps them ensure they have enough power available to meet the demand, preventing blackouts and maintaining grid stability. We have here benefits of integrating forecasting and IT. So first, we have improved accuracy. By using sophisticated IT method, forecasts become more precise, reducing error and improving reliability. So we have also increased efficiency. Automation through IT reduces the time and effort needed for forecasting, freeing up resources for other tasks. Better decision making. Reliable forecasts provide a solid foundation for making informed choices, leading to better outcomes. So we have also enhanced collaboration. IT streamlined team coordination by providing a central platform for sharing forecast and related data. So we have also competitive advantage. By anticipating market trend effectively, business can stay ahead of the competition and seize opportunities. Another, we have challenges and limitations. So first, we have data quality. Poor data quality leads to inaccurate prediction. If the information you put into the system is bad, wrong, incomplete, or old, the forecast will be wrong too. Next, model complexity. Complex models are difficult to understand and interpret. If a forecasting model is too complicated, it can be hard to know why it's making certain prediction, making it difficult to trust. Next, overfitting. Model too tailored to historical data perform poorly on new data. If a model is too specific to past events, it might not accurately predict future outcome. Next, resistance to change. Resistance to adapting new methods or IT system. People might not want to switch to new way of doing things even if they are better. So last, cost. High cost for implementing and maintaining IT systems. Setting up and running IT system for forecasting can be expensive, including software, hardware, and training. We have also future trend. So first, AI and machine learning or ML. Developing adaptive forecasting model, AI and ML can automatically learn from data and adjust forecasting model to improve accuracy over time. Also, we have big data. Improving accuracy with vast data sets. Analyzing large amount of data from various sources can provide deeper insight and more accurate forecast. We have also cloud computing. Enhancing accessibility and affordability, cloud computing make advanced forecasting tool and large data set more accessible to business of all sizes without the need for expensive hardware and infrastructure. Last, we have also real-time forecasting, providing up-to-date prediction for quick responses. Real-time forecasting uses the latest data to provide immediate prediction, allowing businesses to respond quickly to changing conditions. And I conclude, the integration of forecasting and IT has transformed the way organizations make decisions. By leveraging the power of IT, organizations can generate more accurate forecasts, improve efficiency, enhance collaboration, and gain a competitive advantage. While there are challenges and limitations associated with integrating forecasting and IT, the benefits far outweigh the risk. As IT continues to evolve, the field of forecasting will continue to advance, providing organizations with new opportunities to improve their performances. And that's all. Thank you so much.